Hello and good evening. Bienvenue à la Huis Clos podcast. That's the No Exit podcast. I'm Jason, and with me this evening we have a full house and people elsewhere. There's Richard, and we have Sasha, Riven, James in the back there, and we have Vanessa right here. And then there's Sal and Lindsay in a small postage stamp picture. So
I know Lindsay, and I know Vanessa, and I know Jason, and I know Richard, and then the other two, I don't know which one matches which picture.
I'm Riven.
Why is
and that's Sasha. So thanks, Sal. You know that.
Why is she so small?
Because
that's what she said.
That's her profile picture.
Oh,
and when you turn off your video, it goes right to your profile picture.
Oh, okay. So now I need the intro. J'ai besoin de l'intro.
Okay, let's give Jason the.
Okay, this is our mission statement for the No Exit podcast. It comes from Camus. Oh no, Sartre, pas Camus. Nous avons perdu une minute. Ah, there you are. There's Lindsay.
Much better.
Muy mejor.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the mission.
The Mission UK?
Stand by for mission
or the
parameters.
Sisters of Mercy. You like the Sisters
Oh, I
of
love the
Mercy?
Sisters of Mercy.
They're great, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Sisters of Mercies are awesome.
I saw them with Public Enemy. Remember that tour?
Oh, but yeah,
that weird tour with all the bands that didn't belong together?
Right, like
That's great.
Chuck D.
Yeah, no, Chuck D's great. What's wrong with Chuck D?
Chuck D. But
why?
I still think the Wu-Tang Clan.
What about Flavor Flav? You don't have any problems with Flavor Flav, I hope.
Flav, who has 7 kids by 6 women.
He's super delightful. He's a Swiftie.
Well, that's what Norman Mailer said. He said, "I can't make love without making babies."
Well, some people can.
Filth.
Not Norman Mailer.
What about the great Buddha? I bet the great Buddha. You know who that is.
Yeah, but did you know Genghis Khan?
Yeah, I knew him personally.
1/16 of people in the world can trace their lineage to Genghis Khan.
Very nice.
Wow. I'm not one of them.
Are you sure? Have you done 23andMe?
No, and you will never get my
How about the
DNA
other
like
one?
that.
What's the other one? There's 23andMe.
Ancestry.
You are not getting my
Do we know
DNA.
that? I did. So I know
No,
what
I'm
I am.
good.
Is it anywhere, Richard?
What's the topic
It's
tonight?
somewhere in here.
So we want to welcome everyone. I don't have the telephone number, but you're welcome to call in while we wait for the mission statement. Yeah, 716-202-8430. We welcome your calls. We have a full house, and we want to hear everybody's position. There will be no yelling, no screaming, and no insults this evening, but everybody will be heard.
Okay.
Just indicate yourself to be if you want to be heard.
Everyone's position except the missionary.
Okay.
You got that up yet?
That completely brought the trail
level up.
right to the stop. And
Okay, finally, I found it. Can you put up VIN 9?
okay, I
There
need
you
it
go.
bigger because I can't see that.
Okay, coming up.
Look over there.
I still can't see it.
How big do you want it?
I need it like it was before so that I could see both of them, or you'll have to scroll it. Alors, c'est l'enfer. Je ne t'aurais jamais cru. Vous vous rappelez, le souffle, le boucher, le grill. Ah, quelle plaisanterie. Pas besoin de grill. L'enfer, c'est les autres. So, this is hell. I would have never believed it. You remember the sulfur, the pyre, the grill? Ah, what a joke. No need for a grill. Hell is other people.
Hey, can you say that in Korean now?
Anyun, haseyo.
That's Japanese.
No, that isn't. That's excellent Korean.
Oh, it's most
Because a
excellent.
Korean guy, David Sau, told me that my Korean was excellent, and he was a.
Oh, do you really speak it?
No, that's all I could say. I can greet you in Korean, and a Korean guy told me I did a great job with it.
Vanessa has been watching so many Korean videos that Vanessa's starting to learn the language.
True story. That's what the Filipino cleaning women in my hospital did. These women all spoke Tagalog or Ilocano, and they would watch in the team room the Korean shows. And there was one where this guy takes a bite of a clove of garlic like an apple, and he goes on for 30 seconds, and all the thing says is it's pungent.
As long as it's not a durian fruit. Are you familiar with those?
Yeah, it's still.
No, they taste like socks.
Durian fruit's disgusting. It tastes like an armpit.
Yeah, but
They're illegal on the train in
the clove
Singapore.
of garlic is pungent.
It is.
During you can tolerate.
The Great Buddha's pungent too.
Okay, so this evening,
You know who that is?
Siddhartha Gautama.
Oh, the Great Buddha. is.
No, he's someone who has a connection to this studio.
It depends on how ripe durian is.
Okay,
if
so
it's gonna be
you know
sweet.
what's not polite
No.
is talking about people with code names or nicknames that no one else knows. So if only some people have it, inside jokes
Richard
are.
knows. Tom knows. You should know.
No, I don't know
I told
who's
you who the Great Buddha was the other day.
No, you didn't. If you did, I don't recall it because you didn't emphasize it. So I have to take Richard to task this day. So I had mentioned that I'd worn one of my Rolexes to court, and I said I only wear it when I work. Richard has
baby
a
black.
single-minded thought that Rolex is just for extravagance. Rolex makes watches out of stainless steel, gold, and platinum. What is mine made of? It's stainless steel. It's not ostentatious. And do you know what deal Rolex had with the military? That if you are military with an ID, I don't know if you still can, but you go to the PX and you can get a watch for 90% off. Because you know why the Rolex is such as it is, like the Sea Dweller or the Submariner? You can make easily make the wristband larger so you can put it over your wetsuit. It's very functional, and you will not find a Navy SEAL that doesn't wear a Rolex. Now, I'm not a SEAL, mind you, but I've known several.
Are you an otter?
My cousin
SAIL stands for sea, air, land. It's not a legitimate term. And so that shows a very
Walrus.
simplistic way of looking at
The
it.
walrus was Paul.
And
I have to ask
Cuckoo,
you.
could you-
Cuckoo, cuckoo.
and but
Number
that,
9.
that
Number 9.
but the what was the first James Bond movie with Daniel Craig?
The what?
The first Bond movie with
First
Daniel
Bond
Craig.
movie.
Quantum of Solace.
No, that was the second one. What was the first one where they were playing
Casino Royale.
Casino Royale? That the woman played by Eva Green says, "Is your watch Rolex?" He says Omega or Omega, but Omega is not good for combat because Richard.
That's a great Atari game.
But Richard tried to point out a cheap Timex that was well rated, but I said that's the lost or the sunk cost fallacy because I bought my watch 15 years ago when I was doing much better economically. It didn't. I had the money and it didn't matter, and I got the most functional watch I could. But he only sees it as an exotic.
Don't you have 3?
I have 2.
Oh, you only have 2?
But he sees that only as an extravagance because I will never become a communist. I will never take the most minimum role, and I will never give my stuff away because I think people are generally a little bit selfish. Everybody. So why is that communism only works
I'm the opposite of you.
in the beehive and in the Buddhist monastery? That's the only place communism works. But any large area, you have communism
the Soviet
is
Union.
yeah that
Well,
didn't work.
capitalism taken to extremes doesn't work either.
Yeah, I didn't say that, Sal. I'm just saying that it's the worst system, as Churchill said, it's the worst system, but the best one we have.
I don't know.
So you
So-
think capitalism is doing a good job?
I think it's doing an all right job, but I don't think it's doing a great job. But it's much better than socialism, making me work for all the money I make. I should not be punished because I am a doctor and I could make a lot of money because I still have to pay more in taxes and I'm still paying my student loans off. It's not like it was giving me free like in the UK or in India.
Under capitalism right now, 2025, in America, 60% of the people live paycheck to paycheck.
Ooh, I've never lived any other way. What, I
Right?
mean, what?
There's another way to live? I don't know. You and I have no idea then.
What is that?
there was a paycheck to paycheck here.
But you also know that the top 50% pay 98% of the taxes. So ipso facto,
I don't think that's
Not
true.
anymore.
Where'd you hear that, on Fox News?
Channel Fox News
WBEN.
that people like
Stop
you
watching Sean Hanning.
say stuff like that. I didn't know who Jordan Peterson was. I don't know what Channel Fox News is. So that tells me something that you do, that you know those.
Fox News is
Because
Fox
they both
News.
suck.
Right, Fox News is
They're
Fox News.
awful.
I thought everybody knew who Fox
I
News
watch,
was.
I watch
Republican government
FX.
seen
I watch
it in
FX. I don't watch
People
Fox, but I
about-
watch
Trump
FX.
is after
Value
Fox
in the
News
morals
now.
of the Bible.
Hey, did you hear Trump's after Fox News now and Murdoch's because they won't shut up about the Epstein files.
Well-
so now he's threatening Fox News and Murdoch.
He already filed a suit. He filed it yesterday for $50 billion.
Wall Street Journal, though.
Wall Street.
Wall Street Journal, but that's owned by Murdoch.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
owned by-
he's got a
But
ton of suits going.
I
on.
have no problem with Murdoch being sued.
doesn't?
I couldn't afford to
He's
sue him. Tabloids about
see,
me.
He's from Australia.
Like, but that happened.
But there's, you might know this, Richard. There's a legal construct that says you can't be insulted anymore. There's a point when you get the bottom, you can't be denigrated anymore.
I think I've reached that.
You know that.
I feel like I've reached that
No,
a long time ago. It keeps going and going.
It's like the Energizer rabbit; it never stops.
But that's because that's what a claim that that was something that happened in New York City because he can't be insulted anymore. And $50 billion. See, you know who's the person that Donald Trump will never say anything to is Mark Cuban because Cuban has more money, legit, straight up, $6 billion versus Trump's nebulous, all illiquid paper. His money. Trump is a shitty businessman,
Yeah.
and he took his
Yeah.
father's money and
Hell.
ran it into the ground.
Taylor Swift has tons more money than him.
Hey, remember what was his name? Not Roy Rogers. The other, I forget everything went on in this friggin' show.
Cowboy?
The other movie Cowboy. Not
Gene Autry.
Yeah, Gene
John
Autry.
Wayne.
Gene Autry took his money and bought all sorts of real estate in Southern California, and that's why he was one of the first owners or the founders of the California Angels, because he used his head. You know who's another rich guy from real estate is Roger Staubach.
And Merv Griffin did that too.
Oh yeah, Merv Griffin made $90 million off of. Da, 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 da. He said that bought him a
song?
house, another house. And,
Oh my God.
He wrote that song.
yeah, he did the think music for
great.
Jeopardy, and he said it made him $90 million.
Oh my God.
It's sort
And,
of a rip-off of the syncopated clock, if you think about it. You know that song?
No,
They used to always play it like as bumper music when TV stations were about to sign off. I suggest you research it. It's a great song.
oh well,
And when I Love Lucy became very famous in the 1950s, and they definitely did not want her to go to another network, they offered her it was something like a $6 million bonus if she would stay with the same network. And she spoke to her husband, Ricky, and she said, hey, we're all set for life. And he said, you really think we should just sit on this money? She said, what do you mean? He says, we can use it to buy our own studio. He said, there's one that's going bankrupt in town. Let's buy it. So he persuaded her. They bought it. And that's when the money started rolling in.
yeah, like Desilu, because they
Desilu.
made Mission Impossible.
They made, they did. They did. Star
Don't
Trek.
forget Star Trek.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Star Trek was because Lucy herself. She said, "Yeah, we're going to keep going with this because it was a little bit too weird 60 years ago." And even with Kirk kissing Uhura, which was a big no-no.
Oh yeah.
He
You know,
should-
because
he should have kissed Spock.
First.
It was supposed to be
Spock.
Spock.
That would be great.
It was supposed to be, except when
I never heard that from anyone anywhere. I
You
mean,
just heard it now.
Oh, James knows a lot of trivia.
so do I.
When-
And I'm
Please
going to look that up.
expound.
when
Continue.
Shatner found out that Nimoy was supposed to kiss,
Oh, Uhura.
Nichols.
Oh,
Yeah.
he said, "If there's gonna be an interracial kiss on this show, I'm gonna do it."
No, I was
Very
talking
good.
more. I was talking more about that Kirk should be kissing Spock.
Oh.
Well,
that's what I mean. That's what.
But the way they were able to get Shatner for the show in the first place is he said, I want final say over every script.
And Bill Shatner, to this day, he's 94 years old.
Made some good records.
He he chews the scenery like nobody's business. But, you know, Richard, we must go on with the show.
Wasn't he a guest on one of the Great Buddha's podcasts?
Well,
He's been in
Have
so
you
many
ever
things,
seen that?
including space.
Sal was in the audience and he held up his phone during the question and answer session. So
You know what was a funny movie was Showtime with De Niro and Eddie Murphy because William Shatner plays himself and he says like De Niro calls him TJ Hooker and he says you take a knife and you cut it here and you take a little bit and you taste it and De Niro says what if it's cyanide, Chat? And but true story that Leonard Nimoy and
I can't hear her. I'll be right back.
thanks Sal.
Thanks for the notice.
Nimoy and Shatner were 5 days apart or 4 days apart. One was March 1st, the other was March 5th or March 5th.
So they're the same age.
Yeah, well,
talking about their
Nimoy's been
birthday.
dead 10 years now, or 9 years. He smoked a lot. He smoked like a chimney.
Wait,
So did
Nimoy?
So did my
Nimoy.
father.
I love
Yeah,
him.
but your father wasn't on a TV show that was.
That's true, but he died when he was 47 from it. He could smoke a carton a day.
Bronking guy would be
That's
like going into a coal
crazy.
mine. There was a guy who had a 400 pack year smoking history when I was in the SICU at Duke. That was a carton a day for 40 years.
That's
Bronking that would be
right.
like a coal
That
mine.
sounds
You know,
right.
you'd be like,
Uh-huh.
but no stalactites or stalagmites.
House Cavern? Ever been to House Cavern? It's really
Oh, no.
delightful. It's in the middle
No.
of New York.
I don't spelunk much because spelunker comes from the Latin term spelunca, which means cave with a C, not with a K. Spelunca.
Spelunking is cave diving.
No, spelunca is Latin for cave.
Man,
Right, but isn't
Lindsay's...
spelunking?
Yeah.
What the heck's going,
Going
with
into the
Lindsay up
cave?
there?
Yeah, that's what it is.
She's gotten even
I
smaller.
thought.
What
Oh
the-
no.
Lindsay
She's
is.
gonna-
Lindsay, where are you?
She's fading off into the infinity.
Hey, I don't know what happened. I didn't touch anything.
Oh, going in the
a likely
cosmic
story.
space pouch.
You
Get out
touch
of
it,
the
it'll get
space
bigger.
pouch.
Did you turn off your video, Lindsay?
I see myself in the right upper hand corner.
That's what you did.
and I.
That's,
Really?
that's,
It says
that's technically horrible, whatever's going on there.
I can't stand a knot in my cables. Not a sum, but a
So,
knot.
I met Lindsay in the 1980s. She came over here to do a TV show.
It's not bad that it's good.
And
Too bad
Lindsay
we can't
said,
see her.
she said, I don't play any musical instrument, but if you could give me some household utensils, I will play them as drums.
Oh, like Stomp.
Since then, to this day, Lindsay is a drummer in groups.
Really?
Nice.
I remember a Castle episode where the one dude killed the bassist, and Castle just says, or the cops, Kate says, play this music, and the guy looks at this bass notes. I had no idea. I'm not a musician. I can't read music, but neither could this guy. And so that's why, I think there was a nurse with whom I worked, went to IUPUI, Indiana University in Pennsylvania. And he was a music studies major. And he said that the band director was dismissive and referred to the percussionists as drummers. And there was a lot more to it. Like they had to play the marimba with 3 mallets at the, that was there. So it's far and away from,
Have you ever noticed how when a band gets a good drummer, how the quality of their music goes up? Mm-hmm. Like when George Martin said to the Beatles, you got to get rid of Pete Best and get a good drummer.
yeah, the human metronome, Ringo Starr.
Yeah.
And that's,
Or when the guy from Wall of Voodoo, Stan Ridgway,
yeah.
when he got the gig to do the music for a Francis Ford Coppola movie, the music director said, well, you got to get rid of that drummer you have and get a real drummer. And they got the guy from the Police.
Stuart
Wow.
Copeland.
Oh, yeah.
What a-
He's the best
Stuart
drummer
Copeland.
ever.
What a difference that
Yeah.
made. Holy
He's great. He's like
cow.
a lead drummer. When you listen to his drumming, it's like a lead instrument,
Well-
but yet it's percussion.
That, what's interesting is in 3-man bands like the Police or Rush, any
Rule
one
under Satan's hand?
any one of those
Blue
three
Chair?
could any one of those folks could run their own
Taste.
band, just like any of the Beatles could have their own band. So when you put them all
Primus.
together, you get incredible.
Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
Yeah, ELP. Because what
ELP.
was the movie? Oh goodness, it was from about 8 years ago where there's a blip and only not anything from Marvel, but everybody forgets about the Beatles and there's no Coca-Cola, but only a few people remember it. And Ed Sheeran's in the movie, and they have a contest. With this new guy who remembers the Beatles and Ed Sheeran to write a song in the next 10 minutes. And you know what the song the guy writes? The Long and Winding Road. And Ed Sheeran just gives up.
It sounds like a ripoff of that Otherworld episode. Remember that?
No.
Tom? We were watching that. There's a sci-fi show from the late 70s or early 80s. No, it's mid-80s. Mid-80s. It looks like it's from the mid-70s, but it's from mid-80s called Otherworld. And there's an episode a lot like that.
Well, what did George Harrison say on The Simpsons?
Hare Krishna?
No, he said.
Krishna.
No, he didn't say
Hare,
it.
Rama,
He-
Rama?
No, he said it's been doing.
No.
Yeah, he did.
He did the Krishna chant.
He said it's been doing when they're singing on the bar, whatever's are singing on top of the building, and that's what he said.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Here's a funny story for you. In an interview with Paul McCartney, the interviewer said, "Did you have a good experience in your music class?" And Paul said, "No." He says, "Did your teacher think that you were talented?" And Paul says, "No." He says, "As I recall, George Harrison was just a little bit younger than you and in the same school." It's like, "Yeah." "Did your teacher think that he was talented?" And Paul says, "No." And the guy says, "So what you're saying is there's a music teacher who had half the Beatles in his class."
Okay, now we must differentiate. We must differentiate. Was that Paul McCartney or William Campbell Shears being asked that?
Well, it must be Fall because this
Paul's a
interview
great
happened-
musician, much better than the original Paul.
because this interview happened past the 60s. So.
Good. What year did it happen? After 66?
After 60s.
Then it's William Campbell Shears.
In 2002,
He's the walrus.
when I was
I have an after
a
66.
prelim in medicine,
We're back
there
to
was
Cuckoo
there were
Cuckoo.
these two people from the same high school that both went to Harvard. They were the only two people that ever went to Harvard from their school in like 20 years. But those two people, you'd swear, well, that you can extend that to being everyone, and to have two people in the class that were nurtured. But it happens to be Paul McCartney could play every instrument from the kazoo to the
Yeah,
the upstanding bass. And because what was it? You're 16. He played the kazoo on that for Ringo. And you can hear it in there, the kazoo. But you can make a kazoo out of a piece of tissue paper and a comb.
A Tudor
Sasha, does music play an important part in your life?
It used to more so. I mean, it's always there, like violin, Suzuki. When I was younger, but I never wanted to play a guitar because my father sold guitars and
The connection.
yeah.
I couldn't-
And then
yeah.
moved to singing, and then moved to acting, and there's I don't know.
No, it's funny. It's
yes
funny.
and no.
My
Yes and no.
I couldn't stand my father, and he played guitar, but I still wanted to play guitar anyway. Probably more because of other guitarists other than him.
Nobody in my family plays any musical instruments, but there are 1, 2, 3 one PhD and 2 MDs. So
Oh, I have a fun story. You know the death metal band Cannibal Corpse?
yeah,
My friend Rob Barrett is one of the guitarists in the band, and he grew up on my street. And he used to watch my father play the guitar all the time.
On the street
and that
where you
inspired him
live.
to take up the guitar. That's why his first guitar was a black Les Paul.
wow.
Fun fact.
I
still friends with him.
for a long time I did a YouTube series where I would interview people and I had a set of questions. One of them was, is there a song that every time you hear it, it triggers a memory in your life?
Oh, I got a metric ton of them.
every-
Me too.
Right?
Everybody would answer it the same way. Oh, there's so many. I don't think I could pick one.
They are Legion.
Right.
They
Yeah.
are
I have,
Legion.
Yeah.
I have one I can pick.
What's yours?
Lady in Red by I can't even
Krista
remember
Berg.
the-
Krista Berg, I met him, and his wife is gorgeous.
Well, do you also
That's a
know?
horrible song.
It's a
why?
great song.
Now
It
it's
is.
stuck
That
in my
is a
head.
beautiful-
Musically, lyrically, it's sappy.
Oh, it is
It's
beautiful.
supermarket music.
It
It's
is- it's
stuck in
so
my
the
pretty.
head
Germans
now.
call that shit Schlager.
I love that song.
Now, is that
Krautrock. Now Amandul 2 and Can came to combat that garbage. Listen to that.
Sal? Is that song named after the John Dillinger story?
I'm not sure. I never looked up any information on it, but the thoughts it brought up about a relationship that I had been involved in, and every time I heard the song, it would remind me of that.
But do you, Sal,
behind
do you
you.
know, Sal, do you know the story of Melvin Purvis and the Biograph Theater? Was that in Chicago?
I think
I have
it
no idea.
was,
Yeah, in Chicago. John Dillinger went to see the movie The Lady in Red. Or no, he went to see Manhattan Melodrama, but The Lady in Red was one they were supposed to look for. A woman outside with a red dress. Dillinger would be standing next to him, and Melvin Purvis capped him right there. But the movie Manhattan Melodrama had Clark Gable and William Powell in it, where they grow up.
I know Clark Gable.
And they were kid friends. Well, Clark Gable becomes a gangster, and William Powell moves his way up to governor. And there's a crime that Clark Gable, playing Blackie, is covering for, but he gets convicted of murder. In 1931, he's going to get the chair. He's going to ride the lightning.
Ooh, like Metallica.
Ride the lightning.
Yeah, well, there are about 15 electric chairs in the U.S. that are called
Old Sparky.
Old Sparky, and then there's Yellow
Knew
Gertie,
that.
and there's a couple others. Like Alabama's has its own name.
I just never
But
heard the phrase "ride the lightning" before.
Ride the Lightning. Yeah, that's where Metallica got it, because
Yeah.
riding the lightning is getting zapped in the chair.
Well, okay, we're talking about Metallica, and I have no respect.
The
Oh, the first four
You
albums are
don't respect
phenomenal.
Metallica.
Oh, the
Huh?
first four
You don't
albums
respect
are
them?
great.
Okay, so when Metallica first started, they didn't do all of what everybody else was doing. They started out, they were doing concerts, they had people, their fans were great. I wasn't a big fan of their music, but I respected the fact that they started out like they did. Then all of a sudden, boom, here they are on MTV commercializing this,
Oh, yeah,
commercializing that.
once they did that Black album, they went to hell.
Once
Well,
it started
okay.
with that, I was done. I was like, you know what? I have no respect for you whatsoever.
Dude,
I'm going to
early
stick a
stuff I
pin in
still-
your overwrought statement
What?
because I just heard it on the radio yesterday that there was a festival that was supposed to happen starting Friday night in, it might have been in the Netherlands, but their stage burned right down. Metallica's whole stage was a hole in a box that they could put it up in 24 hours. It was in Austria. Metallica paid for it to go to this EDM festival where they put it up, and their festival went on Friday night.
Well, that's good of them.
It was nice of them.
I like that.
That I mean, musicians are musicians, you know. And Eric Clapton, after his son fell out of the window,
Wasn't he pushed?
that he really started taking his. No, he wasn't pushed. He ran
He was
towards
pushed
the
by
window.
Eric.
That's just disgusting.
That's a theory.
Of by whom? I've
Never
I've
heard
never,
that?
never heard that.
Never
theory.
heard that the window screen wasn't there and he fell out, and that's why one of the things. My hospital in Brooklyn had two people jump out of the window the same night, not the same window, but the same night they jumped out the window, so they screwed all the windows shut.
Mr. Walker here is a big proponent of the fact that there's a difference between the official story and what's the other kind of story that's not official, James?
Well, we'll just say
No, say it straightly. Say it plainly. Don't say it will, just say. Say it.
they always call it the conspiracy theory, but I prefer the Japanese way of discussing this. There is the one and the tatamai. The one is the truth. The tatamai is the lie that we all agree to say.
Like job interviews.
Isn't that a mat?
Job interviews
The
and appearing in
tatamai?
court.
Isn't that the mat?
Got to have all your stock
Well,
shit
no.
that you say
Their
that you really don't
colloquialism
believe.
is it's the lie that we agree to.
I know, I get you, but I mean,
It's the basis of society, unfortunately.
the film was yesterday,
so-
the one where
It is
everybody.
because the society is based on evil things. That's the truth.
I'll agree.
So, for example, when you see a sumo wrestler match in Japan, and one of the wrestlers needs it to qualify, and the other one doesn't need it because he's already qualified, the whole audience knows who's going to win in advance because the honorable thing to do is let the person win who needs it more than you. But
Right.
they all pretend that it's a real match.
Yeah, so they become smarks because in the pro wrestling world,
Jobbers.
no. A jobber is somebody who just works the circuit. But a smart is there's marks, there's smarts. Marks get taken in by the whole story. Smarts know it's all fake. Smarks are people that know it's fake, but they still love the drama and they get into it. So they become smarks because they know the reality, but they get into it and they
Pro wrestlers.
It's like
Believe it.
celebrating
And the question
Christmas
is,
with
how are they going to make
Santa.
this happen?
It's like celebrating Christmas
well,
with Santa.
the ways to win in sumo are get thrown out of the ring or get off your feet. So if you just land on your ass or step out of the ring, that's all you got to do. And that's why a lot of what's that stew that
Brunswick stew made out of squirrel meat.
No, the sumo wrestlers don't eat Brunswick stew.
You're asking about stew. That's
No, they
what I
have
know
a
about.
special stew that they eat that makes them so big because it's kinetic energy. You know, K equals 1/2 mv squared. And if your m is very large, you just got to run into somebody. Because if you're very light, if you're 150 pounds, if you're 70 kilos, and that dude is 300 kilos, you need a lot more force to move him. And he could just pick your ass up and chuck you out, and that's done and done. So in any case, William Kemmerler was the first person to get the electric chair, and that was at Attica, or no, it was at Albion in 1890. He was a rapist and murderer from Buffalo, and they tried. The thing is, volts tickle, but amps kill, and so Kemmerler was hit with 2,000 volts and 100 amps for 3 times for 30 seconds each, and that didn't kill him. So they zapped him 2 more times for a total of 5. But then they perfected it with the juice.
But
The thing about Manhattan melodrama was what they do for drama is somebody getting zapped, the lights would dim in the. That doesn't happen. They either have a separate line in or their own generator because that would cause the prisoners to
Right.
riot. And so that doesn't really happen. But that was the thesis of Manhattan Melodrama, where Dillinger was at the movie. In the movie, Blackie, played by Clark Gable, didn't actually commit the crime, but he was convicted of it. And William Powell could have commuted his sentence, and everybody wanted him to, but he didn't. So Blackie gets the chair, and the lights dim, and then the lights come up in the movie, and it's over. And then Dillinger saw that. He walked outside, woman in red, Melvin Purvis caps him, dead. Dillinger reputedly had a 17-inch penis.
That's a lovely fact. How very delightful.
Why?
Dillinger
so random. This came out of nowhere.
What?
Yeah, what are we talking about?
17-inch penis, apparently.
Rasputin reputedly had an 18-inch penis, and Prince Felix Yusupov, after they poisoned him, shot him, and then he cut off his member and threw it in the Neva River, and then they tied up Rasputin and threw him in the Neva River in a crack in the ice.
The quote I got about you had to do that you said was empathy.
Yeah, where's the empathy conversation?
You're not empathetic to that? I'm not.
Cutting off.
Right up my alley.
It is what it is, you know? I mean,
Okay,
I could give you 55 minutes on poisonous snakes right now. I won't.
Oh, okay.
I won't.
Okay.
Speaking of electric chairs,
I'm trying to teach Jason
Can we,
empathy.
can we try
Oh, okay, good,
hey,
good.
wasn't
Well,
the
you got a good random one there.
wasn't the first thing they electrocuted an elephant? That, like,
Oh, yeah, that was Jumbo.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't. That wasn't.
Did they do the elephant first or a human first? I thought they
No, they
tried it
did-
out on the elephant first.
They did no. It wasn't tried out on the elephant. It was because Westinghouse and Edison. Westinghouse was a proponent of alternating current, whereas
right.
Edison was
DC,
direct
I see, yeah.
current.
Yeah.
Antichrist Devil's Child, like the band.
But the DC doesn't travel as long. Although your landline telephones are DC, they're 48 volts DC, and also landline telephones will last. They won't get zapped because they're analog and there are no electronic circuits. And analog phones, the old systems, if there's an EMP, they will still work. But your phone will be zapped. And also the thing, like in Pacific Rim 2, they get EMP, or in Pacific Rim, they get EMP'd. You can't just wait a while and get it back up. Everything is burnt. Everything is burnt. So if you don't have protected electronics that are in storage, it's just done. If you EMP my phone, I can't just turn it on again.
Emerson, Lake and Palmer?
EMP, electromagnetic pulse. If you drop a nuclear bomb
I'm
over
still
Nebraska
here,
about 1 mile high, or about 8,000 feet, that will send an EMP all over the U.S. and kill all the electronics.
Johnny
Yes.
Marr and
Which is in the
Neil
show
Tennant
Paradise.
and Bernard Sumner, Electronic.
You ever seen that show?
No, tell me about it.
It's called Paradise, and it is about basically the world war. Just the whole world is exploding on each other, and
Like
the
now?
U.S. Well, yeah, but
No, a lot more.
there
like
was
legit.
a very rich woman, and she started building a city underneath the ground, and it's called Paradise. You know, so they chose certain people that would go to this underground. Everybody had a wristband, everything like that, and they found out just before all the planes landed in there, which is they would be cut off from all communication everywhere else. The president pushed the button to put off an EMP that killed the rest of the world in electronics. But they got in safely after that. And so they were living down there when they discover there's people alive up there still. And they left their loved ones up there to be down here. So that's where the show is when I stopped watching
Interesting
it.
premise.
That was
Yeah,
the first.
because-
It's a really interesting show. It's
Well,
really good.
that just rips off Einstein, because he said, World War III will be nuclear catastrophe, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones.
Yeah.
Like the horrible progressive rock band and the Rolling Stones. Sticks and Stones.
Your adjectives are like, this is horrible, that's slog, that's bad. Who's good? Something that anybody's ever heard of? Because two
There's
dudes
a lot of things that are good, but
that nobody's ever heard of.
Styx has one good song, Mr. Roboto.
That Tommy Shaw said that was the worst song that they ever did.
Of course, that's why it's
They
their
have
best
a lot.
one.
No, they have a lot better. They have a lot
There's
better.
no better song than that.
I grew up on
I know all
Styx.
their songs.
Tommy-
That is the
Tommy-
most-
There's no better song
What?
than
What was that,
Mr.
That is the most
Roboto.
divisive Styx song in their catalog.
Yeah, because Tommy Shaw said 10 minutes in, we're talking about robots. I just want to play music.
Brilliant.
Right?
I'm still hung up on EMPs. I mean, that's not how you can knock out a landline, right?
No, you
You-
can't. You
you
can't
can
lock
nev-
out the landline because it's there's nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing to zap. There's no electronic circuits. It's more robust. It's not so fine. That
It's your cell phone to buy.
the Soviet Union said that you take the U.S. space program is like a fine lady's watch. You drop it and it breaks. The Soviet space program is like a Mickey Mouse clock. You drop it, it stops. You pick it up, shake it, it starts again. And there's also the theory of Chinese had garbage satellites, because you can have your fine functioning satellite and you send a flak-ridden satellite that blows up, and all these little pieces of garbage destroy your $150 million satellite.
Okay, but you can hack electrical grids. I mean, I've had the phone zapped out through, and know of other people, like there are people who hack out electricity and electrical grids, and then they zap out your phone.
There's more detail to that, because
Yeah.
my last month in Hawaii, my electric bill was $531. I thought somebody was
all?
ripping me off. And so the person from HECO, Hawaiian Electric Company, HECO comes, he says, nope, nobody's stealing from you. Because that was a common thing, people tapping into your lines and stealing your electricity.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, and so
what was causing all the power drain?
it's so expensive because it's all generated, and it was probably because I had the air conditioner on.
Wow.
Yeah,
You live in the
that'll do
wrong
it.
part
That
of
would
Hawaii,
definitely
you need an
do
air
it.
conditioner. Didn't need one in Volcano.
Well, I lived on Oahu. I didn't
no, you
live
didn't.
on the Big Island because there's nothing on the Big Island.
I like the Wahoo.
There's nothing on the Big Island. It's very delightful.
Then why aren't you still there?
Because I had to come back here for reasons I didn't want to, and I wish I was still there.
Okay, because
there were days when Vanessa could just step outside her door, take a big whiff, and smell the sulfur.
oh see,
Yeah, from the volcano. I lived right on the side of Kilauea.
I would step out my door and I'd take a smell, and I could smell all the flowers. Like I had a Maile lei when I got married, and Maile is not grown, and they just go out and harvest it in the wild.
I was in Oahu once when I was 14 years old, right over July 4th.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Oh, that was
Yeah, is that a good memory?
It was a funny memory. It was me, my sister, and my parents' friends that were with us. So the four of us are all on the balcony, and there were two hotels that are very close together like this. And the boys up a little ways there had firecrackers, and they were lighting them and throwing them off the side. And then they saw us, and they threw firecrackers at us, and everybody else but me, because I'm pretty calm in situations. Everybody else is trying to get in the door and screaming, and they're falling over each other in the door. I just kind of stepped over everybody. Yeah, okay, it's just from firecrackers.
Were you afraid of the firecrackers? No.
I'm Gen X, honey. I'm not afraid of anything.
I love that.
well, when we were kids, your folks didn't see you till it got dark.
Yeah, right. But if
Yeah.
you didn't come in, you had a switch.
Yeah.
You were in by dark and out by the time the sun came up. I was lucky. I was spoiled because Saturday morning I got to watch 2 cartoons. Then I got kicked out the door, and if I was lucky, I had a lunch waiting for me in a baggie on top there if the squirrels didn't get it.
And you remember 35, 40 years ago now, you waited for somebody to come get you. You didn't have it. They wouldn't be texting, okay, I'm on the way, I'm there, I'm on your street. No, you waited. If they didn't show up, you were abandoned.
Yeah.
Or if they had an accident, you didn't know it.
No, you didn't know anything. And my mother used to make me, at first she made me carry a dime because she found out that I was not riding around the block 8 times. I was 8 miles away causing trouble.
Yeah.
So she made me have a dime on me. That's when the payphones were a dime. Then I had to have a quarter on me, and I had to have it at all times just in case something bad happened because she knew me. Because I've done some questionable decisions.
Youth is wasted on the young.
everybody-
Started a
yeah.
riot at my school.
Everybody
I
has
started a
built
riot
his-
at my school.
Oh my!
That,
Not for good, not for like civil rights or anything.
No. It was one of those. You had one popular girl, you had the other popular girl. They met in the hallway. They got into a bit of a tiff, and I turned around and my big mouth went around the rest of the school going, oh, fight after school and behind the library. Fight after
no.
school behind the library. 360 kids.
Would you grow
in
up in
this
River-
tiny little thing behind? It was the Kenmore Library.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought maybe you grew up in Riverside from
No,
the sounds
no,
of
I
that.
came from Kenmore. I was
That's almost as
bored.
bad.
there was
Did the fight take place?
No, they kind of like tussled around for a few minutes, and then the cop showed up, and then I grabbed my friend who I grew up with. I grabbed her and ducked into my dad's church, which was right next door, and I thought I was going to make it out the other side. He was like, hey, aren't you so and so's daughter? And I'm like, oh, yeah, maybe. And he's like, let me call your mom. Did you see that mess out there? Oh, I certainly did. And so he just called
kind
my
of-
mom. I got in the car. She's like, thank you so much. I got in the car, and my mother knew. She was like, I know you had something to do with this.
They called the cops
kind of
on 2
church?
teenage girls.
And 360 kids.
do you,
Yeah,
you know
and
who
the
There
whole
were
thing
360
is
kids in there.
cops. like the whole thing
Oh
is
yeah, no,
totally backwards.
They went to break that up, and it was kind of my fault because I
hit
have
the
a
north.
big mouth.
Hit the north. Cops can't catch the criminals.
Yeah.
What kind of church was this?
Oh, my dad's?
Yeah.
Presbyterian, I think. No, Protestant, sorry. He was Protestant.
Well, there's a lot of Protestants.
Yeah,
There's
what's
different-
the-
which
Presbyterian is
denomination?
Protestant,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Well, I was raised Episcopalian.
Oh, JV Catholic.
Yeah, I'm tissue paper Catholic.
Were you raised in a conservative environment?
Yeah,
Well-
kind of. But after that little incident, my parents decided I was going to a Catholic high school.
Yeah, lock you down.
They tried.
Here's an
That
interesting
didn't help.
question. When you were going through your teenage years, did you ever go through a rebellious phase?
Are you kidding? By the time I was 4, I ran out of the house in nothing. My mother was in the middle of changing my diaper, and my grandmother lived 7 houses down. I ran out the door. I ran down the street, and my grandmother, who's on the phone with my mother, is like, "Where's Reverend?" And she, well, she's running by the house now. So she threw the phone. My mother threw the phone. They're both chasing me down the street, and the only reason I didn't get to Elmwood, buck ass naked, was because my dad came around the corner and saw me and stopped the car, jumped out and got me. But I just kept running from my mother because she was so funny looking. She had little duck feet, and I went, and that little flowy,
Howard the duck.
1950, yeah. She had a little duck. She did. She had a duck run. She had the 1950s, fitted dress with a big poof, and it looked like a bell. And I was laughing the whole time, running away. And I didn't see my grandmother, because if I seen my grandmother, yeah, it would have been a wrap.
Well,
I would have
because
stopped dead.
I don't know why 2 to 4 year old kids are nudists. I mean, that they're.
All of my grandkids
That's
were.
fine.
All of my grandkids, right up until the time they're about 7 years old, they're a little nudists. They run around in their underwear.
No, I mean butt ass naked.
Oh well, they get in trouble for that.
Hey,
So
but
There's a person that Richard and I know who had a daughter who used the fact that mom would just be staring into the computer while chain smoking to escape the house. And one day, driving down the street, and my car meets the corner just in time to see this naked little girl that I know rounding the corner. And
wasn't
I
me.
pull over to the side of the street, get out of the car, and scoop up this naked female and put her in my car and drive off.
Doesn't look
And
That does
I'm
not look
thinking
good.
Later
I
on,
have no intention,
wow,
but it
this
doesn't look good.
really
Yeah.
could have gone bad.
Yeah.
well, what could go
Yeah.
wrong? A black man picking up a little naked white girl. What?
All right, what's
I mean, that's lunch and a drink. I mean,
Yeah, snatching this
God.
kid and throwing her in the car. Nobody knows, and I drove her back to her mom's house to say, "Excuse me, do you know where your daughter is?" Oh,
but the cherry on top, was this in a Mercedes or a BMW or a Range Rover?
well, it was in a Mercedes.
Yeah, that what could go wrong?
Obviously, I'm selling her to the sheik.
We, in the words of the Sheik, we can nego and then get shot in the head. That was Taken. Okay, I
I
just-
remember the movie Taken. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just gave away the. I hate it when Jeopardy gives away the ending of a book. Like they gave away Anna Karenina, and I never read it. I was never going to read it.
I
but-
read
Well,
it.
then what are you upset
It took a
about?
long time. It was worth it. It was worth it.
Why are you upset
To get
then?
the right translation.
Did you? So you appreciated Anna Karenina?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
when you mention that, you always mention Madame Bovary because
Exactly.
they're two different
And I
sides.
loved
Gustave
Madame Bovary.
Flaubert. I get
That
to say
was-
Flaubert.
So in
Flaubert.
Anna Karenina, she dies by jumping in front of a train. Very genteel way of killing yourself. And
Yeah.
Wait,
Bovary,
where are the
That is not
trains run?
genteel.
she starts eating poison.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you know why kids eat lead paint?
Because it tastes sweet.
Yeah, lead has a sweet moiety to it. Exactly. Because I wondered what I have a friend who retired from NYPD about 6 years ago after 23 years, and I said to him, "What does rock cocaine smell like?" Because I don't know. I never smelled it, so I don't know what what it smells like. Because anything opium is bitter, but I don't know what the rock cocaine smells like, and he couldn't tell me. So, but the funny coda to that story is Kenny's 23 years with NYPD, moves to Florida. He's also a nationally registered paramedic, so he was working paramedic in the ED. And what did he do 2 years ago? Joined up Sarasota County Sheriff's. So he put the badge on again. And do you know who's from Sarasota?
A lot of
Randy
people.
Randy Savage.
many
Randy
people.
Savage.
Somebody you might know is Randy Savage.
Randy Savage.
and
Who's
his
that?
I don't know either.
and his brother Leap and Lanny Poffo.
Some wrestler or something?
Yes, he's a
That's
wrestler.
I
you
guess
know
I do
exactly
know.
what that
Sorry,
is.
Henry.
You know
Okay.
exactly who that is. You're just being phony.
I'd rather talk about the Iron Sheik and Roddy Piper.
Yeah, Roddy Piper.
who was of Scottish descent, but he was Canadian by birth, and the Iron Sheik is actually Iranian, but he has nothing political. He just wanted to talk about wrestling.
He's very delightful. He likes to give Hulk Hogan a hard time, as he
Well,
should.
then I like him more.
and
And he had mental health problems, right?
And he had this great move called the
So did Roddy
camel
Piper.
clutch.
the camel clutch. Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's like you get on the back and you pull the arms back like you're riding them, like they're a machine. But as my wife said about in Alaska, the snow machines might not start, but even at 60 below, the dogs always start.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
that's an old story. I probably have 2 months left before I'm divorced. So take them where I get them.
What are you talking about?
I told you my plan.
You have 2 months left before you
No,
get...
that's what I was just estimating. It was more of a guesstimate.
So you really think you're going to get a divorce?
Yeah.
That's not a fantasy.
No, not at all. I just need the motivation to do it. Today was a horrible day.
This is good news because in all of our conversations we've had over the past year or so, every time I mentioned the fact, I said, first, what are the steps in getting a divorce? Because him and his wife have a public life and a private life.
Yes.
Public life. Hello,
Yes.
honey.
Yeah,
honey,
yeah.
let's enjoy this Thanksgiving meal with our relatives. Then they get home. Don't talk to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he would like to get a divorce. And I said, well, what are the steps? He said, well, I got to get my medical malpractice insurance.
I need to get a
renewed.
psychiatrist first. Then I got to get the malpractice. But I figured I could get the malpractice. So that's the rule.
And then he said, once that happens, I could easily get a job as a doctor again, and then I can make money enough to move out on my own. So I said, okay, so what's the first step in getting your medical malpractice? He said, well, printing out the application. So finally, after asking him
Printers
after asking him about 10 times, he printed it out. Mm-hmm. And then I said, okay, now the next step would be to fill it out. Mm-hmm. And he said, it's really hard for me to get motivated. So I said, okay, how about filling out page 1? Uh-huh. And he said, I don't know. And then I said, how about picking the paper up and looking at it for 1 minute? And he couldn't do that.
The psychological pull is long. But truly, I mean, I told my wife about these forms, and she uses Photoshop like you do, and she said, they don't have PDF or fillable PDFs. That's the thing that she found amazing, because these forms, you got to print them out and then scan them in or send them back.
Right. That is not having it that you just fill it out online.
Yeah,
That's
and that's the
bizarre.
thing that was most remarkable, because if I could just fill in a fillable PDF, I'd have less of an excuse. But that's what it is.
Could you pay somebody to fill it out?
No, I have to. I mean, it's actually trivial.
Yeah, you could just dictate to them and they could fill it out.
But the reality is, it'll probably take 5 minutes to fill it out. But that's the thing. That's why I said you don't understand the architecture of depression. Mm-hmm. Because I look like I'm okay, but there are things that I can't cross. I was paralyzed by the work that piled up on me that I couldn't open their webpage. I couldn't go to it because I couldn't stand to look at it.
Immobilization.
I know
20
exactly.
Me too.
Completely.
That's a way of life.
I had
know
25
it.
It
cases
seems
that
like
I
a lot of people at this table understand depression.
Oh, I understand this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And people call you lazy or
I
like
have it.
procrastinating, and those are the people who are contributing to the depression
Yep.
and the anxiety that's preventing you from getting things done.
Exactly.
Your
That's
ADHD,
exactly it.
autism,
Yeah.
all of it.
Well, what don't you do when you're depressed? You don't answer phone calls. You don't listen to voicemails. You don't open mail. You're lucky you get up. And that's why I
Yeah.
put it on that poem. You don't bathe, but maybe once or twice a week if you can get the juice up to do it. People that drink more. People that don't drink start, or they do something else. Or I am very fortunate because I get hypersomnolent. 90% of people that are depressed get insomnia, but I get hypersomnia. Like I slept 14 hours today. So the whole day was lost. The whole day was lost, but at least I dream. Because that was our beef last week on the show about Inception, because they said people using medications to deepen who you are, but that's general anesthesia, and you do not dream in general anesthesia.
No, you have
and
no
if you have
clue what-
benzos, you don't have dreams, so you wouldn't go
Right.
into limbo. You just wouldn't dream anything if you were medically put down. People that are in.
Well, do you think
You have dreams with benzos. I
I
have.
I
Yeah.
never did. I had Ativan once, and I didn't dream. And when I used Cyrax to help sleep 20 years ago, I didn't dream. So I would sleep, so I wouldn't die, but I wouldn't have dreams.
Yeah.
Do you think dreams are important for our mental health?
Oh, absolutely. But we don't know anything about them.
I've heard that described, that dreams are your mind's way of taking out the garbage.
Well, that's a pretty that works, because I heard about reassortment and stacking it up, because now
I had
they
a dream about
Isn't that
Superman. I had a dream
you're doing
about-
ayahuasca ceremony, and then life is a dream.
Ooh.
Oh, life is a dream,
This is-
right?
Isn't that the
Dreams are
Mark
meant to come
Twain?
true.
life is a mystery.
They're meant to be crushed
Everyone must stand
without
alone.
mercy.
I hear you call my name.
And it feels
He's
like
like home.
You have to stand alone.
That's dark.
That was Madonna.
Like a
No.
prayer.
Yeah, it's like a prayer. Yeah.
No, Like a Prayer. That's a good song.
I don't know. I don't like.
And she's
Good
in
video,
Like a
too.
Prayer, isn't she addressing her father, who's a religious figure?
I think so. I don't remember.
No, I thought that was Papa Don't Preach.
Oh, that could be it.
That
Yeah,
one,
Papa
yeah.
Don't
that,
Preach was
uh,
to her father.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But
You're correct.
if you want
Papa
to
Don't
hear
Preach
a
was to
really
the
sad
father.
song,
But she was keeping her baby.
Yeah,
She wasn't gonna having an abortion. But okay.
but on the what was the album was like a prayer? There's
That's
a
like a prayer. That's the album.
yeah. There's a song called "Love Don't Live Here Anymore." That's really sad.
Love Don't Live Here Anymore is off like a virgin, I thought.
Oh no, that was Like a Virgin. I had that wrong. You're right. It was 1985. It was Like a Virgin. But Love Don't Live Here Anymore.
Well, what's that
it's a
about?
cover.
Just like it says. She talks
Oh,
about.
tell us the original artist, James.
I don't know who the original one was.
James might know.
Yeah. Who is it covering?
I can't remember the name. I'm sorry.
I sort of, I should know it, and I do
It's a
know it, but I
soul
can't bring it to
song.
mind.
It's just a memory. Love Don't Live Here Anymore. And but she actually you can hear a sob from her at the very end on the album.
Meaning it resonated with her
Yeah,
personal
because
life?
she thought her and Sean Penn were like this, and I don't know what broke them up, because he is so liberal. He's more liberal than you, and like he automatically thinks that anybody who is downtrodden is the right party. And
this is why he goes when there's floods and everything?
no,
to
he
help-
goes to like Venezuela to talk to Hugo, the dead guy, and say that he's doing the right
Chavez.
thing. Yeah, Chavez. The people are you're doing the right thing for these people.
James, why did Madonna and Sean Penn break
Yes.
up?
Oh, that's just one of those things where two entertainers get together and start jockeying for position because you're more successful than I am right now. My career is going here, there, whatever. And my job is taking me to Venezuela, and your job is taking you to Italy. And you want me to follow you to Venezuela, and I think you should follow me to Italy, and garbage like that. But I believe the tune was originally done by Rolls Royce.
Oh, they did Car Wash is the only song I know by them.
Oh, we gotta look it up on the
Wow.
interwebs.
Because I really the first movie that I saw Sean Penn in was Taps, because I love that movie. Although it wasn't filmed at my school, but that was the life I lived. Although we didn't have that young, we were just a college. We weren't also a school, but that was also who's the guy?
You're right.
That the guy who played Gus Fring on
That
Better
guy?
Call Saul. That was his first role in 1984 or in '83. Timothy Hutton had just come off his Oscar playing Conrad in Ordinary People.
Tony
That-
Conrad,
He played Conrad.
the minimalist musician.
He played Conrad in Ordinary People, that was a big change for a lot of people because they saw Mary Tyler Moore. She was a bitch. She was a not emotionally interested and a woman who abandons. It was antithetical to the what you'd seen her on TV. That's what really changed it. And because Timothy Hutton feels that his brother was the favorite, and he feels like it's his fault that his brother died. And one of the best scenes, Robert Redford directed. That was the first movie he directed, and where Timothy Hutton calls this one girl's house that he'd been in the psych ward with, and they say, "Oh, she killed herself," and the mother hangs up. On the other end, the patient's mother hangs up, and he didn't even know that. Didn't even know that she offed herself, and so that's why Donald Sutherland played the father, and then he played Timothy Hutton played the cadet commander. Sean Penn was the mounted company commander. Tom Cruise was Thomas Cruise Mapother's first role, and he played the very warring David Shawn, who, it's beautiful, man, it's beautiful. In the last scene, he opens up with the M60 with the pig and is shooting at everybody. Then he gets lit up by all the reserve soldiers with their M16s.
Did anybody on the show ever know someone who committed suicide?
Oh, many.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, my friend
Yeah.
from the
You
I have a
blowjobs.
really good bill.
Bass player.
I found him.
Did you
my
did you see it
God.
coming?
Yeah,
No, yes and no.
I was on
We
the
didn't
phone.
think he was actually going to do it.
I was on the phone when he did it, I think.
What did he do?
He ended up hanging himself.
Do you know why hanging is
He
so
was listening to
gory
Led Zeppelin records.
Because judicial hanging it's meant to break your neck, but when you hang home, you strangle.
That's
I don't know how he
longer.
could do it.
That
It's like
doesn't
really,
sound like-
suicide's really hard to pull off. Like trying to find a method that actually works is near impossible. 'Cause the body
Yeah,
wants to fight
yeah.
and live.
Yeah.
Well, arsenic will do it,
I don't
and
know.
so will Tylenol.
How do you get
The musket rifle works pretty well.
rat
Tylenol
poison, or
does
you can
not.
get you can get arsenic in the
No,
in the hardware
Tylenol
store.
does not. You get your
Tylenol?
stomach pumped on
Tylenol
that.
don't
no,
work. My
you
mother
just
tried
puke
that.
it up.
Yep.
But you
Just
get
gets puked up.
no, you get 3 days of the honeymoon phase, and then by the time anything happens, you're done because you can't undo the liver disease.
Ooh,
And
don't
that's
want
what
that.
it is. And then the only thing you can get is the liver transplant. But because you were suicidal, you go to the bottom of the list.
Yeah, you don't want to get.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that because of the liver thing, and you also don't want to take the purple syrup that makes you fall asleep. Too much of that. That'll do the same thing to your liver.
Well, but you can't
And
drink
it's worse.
enough. Yeah.
It's worse to survive and live with something
What's
than
the
that.
purple
If it's
syrup?
failed.
Or an easy one. I'm telling everybody on the with 4 minutes to go, so we can run a mile.
It took me 30
one of the
minutes to
easiest
do
way-
that.
The only benzo that's associated with somebody unilaterally using the benzo is midazolam, first said. But if you take even 10 Valium and drink it with alcohol, that's enough to kill you. But you could take a fistful. It's disgusting. Like, choke them all down. And you'll just sleep. Benzos will kill you. I'm sorry. Barbs will kill you, but benzos won't.
Barbs. Okay.
Yeah.
What are some?
Nobody-
what are some
nobody-
names of the barbs?
nobody
You know
prescribes
barbs is the
that
only one.
anymore.
Right. Exactly. There aren't
My
any-
grandfather was a doctor, and I remember a few times where I couldn't fall asleep, and I was anxious and depressed, like really young, and my mom gave me phenobarbital.
And did it-
Tiny bit, but I mean,
It worked.
different, yeah.
Well, it's like in the 1600s when Sir Walter Raleigh looked at the axe. You know what he said, or reputed to have said? "'Tis a sharp cure, but a sure one for all's ills."
Yeah, and nobody close to me has ever committed suicide because I call
You're
them and
lucky.
My mother tried
but
3 times.
no one,
Well,
yeah.
My
You're
cousin
lucky.
did. My cousin hung himself when he was 18 and succeeded. Another one drank himself to death, so it was a slow suicide.
I tried to be
My
a drunk,
mother-
and I couldn't do it.
My mother ran a red light
What?
or stop sign when
I
she
tried
was
to become
21.
a drunk, and I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Some guy broke up with my mother.
Vomit.
She ran a red light in her Corvair.
up.
No, I mean,
and
I
got
tried like the
T-boned,
whole.
But she survived.
was it an intentional
Sorry.
Yes, it
suicide?
was intentional.
Well, we covered this
she
before.
also took
That
pills, and she tried to stab herself with like a letter opener.
Oh my god.
you got to try harder. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she
Because-
did. But she has a stent there now from where she stabbed herself because like we screwed something up, but not enough
Well,
to kill her.
that women try more than men, but men are more successful because men use more lethal means. But
Right.
there was a woman with whom I worked on the ambulance 30 years ago, so it was 92, 93. I remember what she looked like, and she was dating the one Indian guy. We didn't have any, like he was a dot Indian. He wasn't a feather Indian.
Okay.
But I mean, that's an easy way to differentiate. You know, a
likes
dot Indian
details.
versus.
Nobody would have thought that
People
you
get
had-
it. It's the age of Trump. Who cares?
But
I care.
no, that was there was a dentist online, and there was another guy who's a doctor in Oklahoma who was a police officer, and they would differentiate. She said, "I'm dot Indian." He said, "I'm feather Indian."
I don't care.
Okay,
I'm
so
part,
somebody
I'm
else
part
gave you
feather
that
Indian. And I
offensive
don't care.
terminology.
I'm part
But
feather Indian. it
she was
doesn't bother
dating
me.
the
That
one
is,
guy who was Indian, and we didn't have many subcontinental at all. Nobody else working. And then she ate a shotgun, which was very uncommon for women.
Yes, that is.
Yeah.
So,
Oh.
Vanessa, you're more like Jimi Hendrix when he was asked, how come you don't have more of a black audience? And Jimi Hendrix said, well, I'm more interested in fans that are people, not in categories.
Yeah, sure.
That's
It-
awesome.
Good.
Oh, but I have an uplifting story. I have an uplifting
Okay.
story because
Yay.
everybody, we all worked together. And there was a kid, we'll call him Pete. That's not his real name. But Pete worked with us, and we knew he was gay, but his family didn't. And when he came out to his family from Chautauqua County, horrible. So Pete figured it out when his roommate would be in class and he would overdose and die. But his roommate came back for a book, found Pete down, calls the paramedics, and the two that he gets, both guys that I know, one is actually a homicide detective now in Florida. I don't know what happened to JP, but they get him to Buffalo General. They at that time, they pump his gut, they save him, and his attempt at killing himself led to him blooming like a flower. Now he is the gayest, funniest, most loving, best guy ever.
If you can't be yourself,
he is his legitimate, authentic self.
Yeah, but people probably realize that's what it took.
And
You know,
that's-
that to
And have a great
have
night, y'all.
somebody-
Thank you for
Okay.
coming.
Yeah.